Good evening. Welcome to the second webinar in our series, The Road to Smart Supply Chain Management. I am Michael Torrey, the Academic Director of the Tsinghua Southeast Asia Center in Bali. I'll be the MC for tonight. Just as a kind reminder, please keep your microphones muted during the session. We'll have Q&A at the end of the session. You're welcome to put any questions that you have in the chat box and we can get to them at the end. Or at the end, you can raise your hand and ask your questions directly. So welcome back to everyone that joined our first webinar a few weeks ago about utilizing AI to transform supply chains, featuring Professor Victor Chen from the Tsinghua Shenzhen International Graduate School. And a warm welcome to everyone joining tonight for the first time. Tonight's session, titled Building a Smart, Resilient Supply Chain, Navigating Uncertainty and Change, will be delivered by Professor Togar Simatupang from Institute Technology Bandung. Professor Togar Simatupang and Professor Victor Chen are both co-directors of the Smart Supply Chain Management Program offered by the Tsinghua Southeast Asia Center and Tsinghua Shenzhen International Graduate School. This is an upcoming professional education course in smart supply chain management. The program will start on October 16th and will run for 4 weeks hybrid, both on-site at the Tsinghua Southeast Asia Center in Bali and online via Zoom. The program features outstanding professors from world-class universities such as Tsinghua University and National University of Singapore, as well as expert industry speakers from leading global supply chain leaders. After Professor Togar gives us a glimpse into the curriculum of the program, I will share further in depth about the program and opportunities for you to join. So without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce Professor Togar Simatupang, Professor of Industrial Engineering at ITB and co-director of the Smart Supply Chain Management Program, to present tonight's session on building a smart, resilient supply chain, navigating uncertainty and change. Professor Simatupang holds an engineering degree in industrial engineering from the Bandung Institute of Technology and a PhD in decision science from Massey University in New Zealand. He was a postdoctoral fellow at the University of Newcastle and earned an executive certificate from MIT Sloan Ideas Program. He has published widely on the topics of logistics, supply chain management, entrepreneurship, and operation management. Professor Simatupang was the head of the Master and Doctoral Program in Management Science at ITB from 2009 to 2011, and the Rector of Dell Institute of Technology from 2016 to 2021. He is well known as an expert in supply chain management and creative industry development. So please welcome Professor Togar Simatupang for tonight's webinar. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mike, for the nice introduction. And I would like to greet all of you for this tonight webinar entitled Building a Smart, Resilient Supply Chain. This topic is very close to our daily activities because we face a lot of changes, natural changes, as well as geopolitical changes, as well as infrastructure changes. We just survived from COVID-19, and we learned a lot from this natural force that changed how we communicate, how we behave, and how we enhance our capability to deal with these unprecedented events. Let me introduce the things that I would like to share to all of you. First of all, I would like to start from how do we define supply chain management. And then we will be able to see opportunities and challenges. However, supply chain management that we know usually operate in terms of normality, in terms of how the supply chain react and manage disturbances or disruptions. However, during the crisis time, we need another approach. That's what we call it resilient supply chain. We will see that disruption is costly and it affects not just only in the current situation, but also how the system can rise up again and deal with the residual of the disruptions. And then I would like to introduce several types of resilience. And then in advance of Industry 4.0, then we are faced with artificial intelligence and how do we take advantage of the advent of this technology. And then we will see one example that's a well-known that to reflect and to illustrate how supply chain resilience actually work in the practice. As an introduction and the background, why we need to talk and discuss about these resilient supply chains, that the supply chain faces a lot of challenges and changes around the supply chains, including natural disaster as well as global pandemics. So the question for us, basically, how do we anticipate and how do we respond if disruption really take place in front of us? So I hope that we can learn from building supply chain resilience, especially how we navigate uncertainty with agility, as well as how to protect against financial losses and to find innovative solutions to overcome unpredictable challenges. We understand that supply chain management aim to integrate different participants or actors along the supply chain from the upstream to the downstream. Here we distinguish between unproductive supply chain and productive supply chain. In the unproductive supply chain, we can see there is a fragmented effort doing by different actors. From the downstream, how to deal with customers, we have one plan. And manufacturer also, they have another plan. And supplier also, they have another plan. So all of them basically working in their silo, in the four walls of their own organization. And what happened, this is what happened, that the flows of material, information, and finance are overlapping, as well as a lot of troublesome happening between the supply chain actors. On the other hand, supply chain management would like to integrate all the planning, including strategic planning, and how they can incorporate customers, manufacturers, and suppliers into cohesive plan. By doing so, the fluctuation can be managed and waste as well as costs can be removed or reduced from our supply chains. So this is actually the beauty, the aim of the supply chain, how actually to deliver customer value at lowest possible cost. And I would like to emphasize that supply chain marked by triangle. So this is what they call it 3 Cs. customer, cost, cash. Usually, people working in the supply chain, they look at cost sides, yeah, and usually customer already given, for example, customer service level or SLA, they already given, and how Italy supply chain fulfill those requirements. But it is not like that anymore. But these three flows, yeah, information, money, and material should be tied together into these three interconnections. So at the same time, we can actually improve our supply chain, yeah, to reduce costs. And by doing so, we can have more cash, yeah. And then we also need to improve the customer service level. So this is the indicators of every aspects, yeah, of the triangle of supply chains. And we have two course of action that we can choose. One is the continuous improvement, and the other one is transformation. So what we say, what we mean by continuous improvement, we find out how actually we plan, do, check, action, PDCA cycle to go better and better. For example, how we can improve customer service level, for example, like from 90% to 95%. So this is continuous improvement. On the other one, when we want to develop like leap from one state to the other state by using technology or improving infrastructure, or might be doing some collaboration with our partners so we can jump to the new states. So we talk about transformation, we talk about how we can save money from our supply chain. Maybe you can remember, yeah, around 30, 40 years ago, 1973, yeah, 78, we have a $6 billion man. But usually, if we have supply chain and then we are challenged with these things, for example, how we can improve by $1 million supply chains. Kaplan and Norton provide us with this nice diagram, what things that we need to do in order that we can deliver profit by increasing $1 million supply chain. We can get it from improving our revenue and lowering our costs. So how to get there? This is we call it strategy mapping. Okay, this is the results that survey, yeah, from Bain mentioned that supply chain implemented well, they can grow customer by 10% and also improve speed by 25% and improve service level by 30%. This is the best practice that they can. And then we can also another indicator for cost and cash, especially for cash to cash conversion cycle. And they have also another indicators, yeah, they call it sustainability. Okay, however, everything can go wrong from the upstream to the upstream to the downstream of the supply chain. If we look at here, we have a large corporation that they depend on tier 1 supplier and tier 2 supplier. Sometimes this corporation only have a visibility to their first tier supplier. Yeah, and they don't have visibility to the other suppliers, to the upstream of their supply chain. What happened there? If we have transportation delay, we don't know what happened there. And sometimes also what we know that we inflate the order in order that we can compensate for these delays. Okay, So once this disruption that can happen in the upstream supply chain, yeah, like a first tier and etc., especially when we deal with the crisis, then we cannot implement our normal supply chain management anymore. Okay. So next, we can see what kind of disruption that prevent us to serve better to our customer. Okay, if we look at here, the typical supply chain, they have three sections. Yeah, the first one, how they can serve their customers. So we have demand disruption here. For example, higher competition as well as local events and weather. And we have also operations disruption when we make, deliver, or stock our products. For example, like material shortage, manpower challenges, and also inventory obsolescence. Then we have also supply disruptions. For example, like geopolitical issues, yeah, in Ukraine and the other part of the world, and also environmental disaster like flooding, yeah. Compliance issues also can be disruptors to the supply side. Okay, let us see more about these supply chain disruptors. Okay, usually we can see in the future this disruption by classifying them, yeah, classifying the disruption into two dimensions. The first one is the probability or the likelihood of events, whether it is unlikely or likely, okay? And the second one, severity of event or the impact of the event to our supply chain, yeah? Can be low severity, medium severity, and high severity. So when we experience COVID-19, that's the likelihood of this event is unlikely, but they have high severity. So this one, we cannot avoid this, yeah, when it is happen, yeah. Okay, next, we also observe, yeah, that disruption in the supply chain is more and more, yeah. Like we can see here, there is during 2014, 2016, only the financial collapse, yeah, in Hanjin or New Zealand tsunami, it is not really not really impact very globally, yeah. But since 2017, we have Brexit incidents, yeah, and also US-China trade war, and also we have Ukraine war, etc. So it is becoming more and more. So these figures show us that we need to pay attention for these disruptions. And we can see one particular side of the supply chain. We call it market disruptions. So this is market disruption can be in many forms, yeah, like Suez Canal blockades. Yeah, this is happen in many electronics as well as trading, yeah, between Europe and also East part. And they have also Nord Stream pipeline. So when the Russian natural gas shut off, and they have also pipeline sabotage. And also they have a rise in fuel prices, yeah. So we can see here the increase of fuel, yeah, 51%, yeah. And this is make us that market disruptions living around us. So we cannot actually avoid them. So these figures open our eyes, actually, how we can understand that the market disruption is really exists. Okay, let us see in terms of money. Yeah, we look at three kind of industry: global electronics manufacturer, global computer maker, and global automaker. In the electronic manufacturers, like the one of the example of disruption, yeah, this is Japan's Kumamoto earthquake, April 2016. The impact for the global electronic manufacturers dropped in revenue around 16%, and drop in net income is 66%. So in global computer maker, yeah, like Dell, yeah, Apple, etc., because of the disruption US and China trade wars, since 2018, the lost market cap, it is around 1 billion. Yeah. So this is not just only about the percentage, but also the amount, the huge amount, loss of market or loss of sales, or even waste can be happen. Yeah. Okay. Why is it important to see these figures? Okay, and then there is a study from McKinsey. This is we know already from statistics that once we have exposure from the stock, this is unexpected events that cause disruptions like macro political, malicious actors, idiosyncratic events, then more vulnerability. Yeah, this is the fragility in key areas. These two functions basically reveal, or lead to value chain risks. Okay, if your system is vulnerable and the shock exposure is happening, the EBITDA of losses, EBITDA is the earnings before interest, this is around 42%, so this is almost half of the earning will be gone, from the company. Okay, so what we learn from these disruptions, let us look at one more example from agricultural supply chain. Yeah, the agricultural supply chain, from the upstream, this is the upstreams, and this is the context about what we call it climate change, and weather events become not really friendly to the farmers. Okay, and then they expose this risk, okay, expose the risk about the productivity, not just only the productivity, but also the what we call it the price of the commodities, because every nation they will compete to secure their own food. So let us see here that the supply chain in this agricultural face these three kind of risks, market risk, risk for higher labor, and business management risk. There is a good news that if the farmers, the traders, as well as the customers or the manufacturers, they can collaborate together. So they have what we call it collaboration. So they will understand what's happening along the supply chain, and then they can find the solution. Because they will expose with different kind of disruption, and they also experience different impact of the same event. So this is actually they have to manage. Okay, let us see what does it mean by supply chain resilience. This is what we have already learned at the beginning when I introduced supply chain management. Our context is about routine operations. Yeah. So the aim of routine operation is actually how we can achieve competitive priorities like low cost, timely delivery, flexibility, and quality. This is the routine. This is the normal life. However, when we have crisis, then our competitive priorities is not our objective anymore. We need to be able to restore. So this is restorative priorities. Yeah. How actually we can have maintain our relationship with our critical suppliers. So we still able to find the best raw materials or intermediate materials from our suppliers. And also timely response, yeah, with recovery, and how we can trace with transparency, yeah. So we can see two kind of supply chain. One is routine operation. We call it robust supply chain. And the second one, we call it resilient supply chain. Robust supply chain, if the disruption, it is a normal fluctuation in supply side, in the internal side, as well as in the market sides, and how actually the supply chain can resist of this fluctuation or variations. It is different with resilient supply chains. There is a unwanted event, sometimes is unforeseen event strikes our supply chain. For example, like a flooding, yeah, maybe fire, yeah. And then the supply chain will fall down. Yeah, this is the disruption. Yeah. And then the supply chain need to be able to respond to this disruption and then to recover. Yeah, this is what we call it resilience. Besides these two kind of robustness and also resilience, we have another differences between robustness and resilience. Yeah, robustness, what we mean is ability to maintain. Yeah, there is this shocking or fluctuation or variation. Yeah, and resilience is ability to recover. Yeah, so this is, we call them flexible robustness. Yeah, so the supply chain, our argumentation here, how we can combine these two capabilities, yeah, in order the supply chain can survive or even thrive in the routine situation as well as in the crisis situation. So this is actually what actually we want to combine them. We call them intelligent combination, yeah, of robustness and resilience. Okay, besides robustness and resilience, we have another indicators, yeah, like flexibility and agility, but we leave them, yeah, for another session, yeah. Let us focus first on robustness and resilience, yeah. Okay, and we need to look at what other scholars, yeah, mention or define supply chain resilience. Like Price and Caniato, they call supply chain, or they define supply chain resilience as the ability to react to unexpected disruption and restore normal operations. So one of the UK scholars, we got here our fellows, Stephen, from UK, Christopher and Peck. So Christopher is very well known in supply chain management. This is actually one of the their work in the resilience agility, how they can combine agility and lean, lean agility. So they coined the term. So what they define supply chain resilience is ability of a system to return to its original state or move to a new, more desirable state after being disturbed. Since they published this work and supply chain resilience become more and more researched by other scholars. Okay, and then in the practical way, Melling et al. Define supply chain resilience is the ability of supply chain both resist disruption and recover operational capability. So by defining it, the resilience become two dimension. One is resistance and the other one is recovery. So Melling, Stephen Melling, from Michigan State University, they can divided these phases, or we can say events in the supply chain resilience become resistance like avoidance, resistance how to contain, if we can deal, with this disruption. And when we have a strike or face the disruption, how we can stabilize the operation and return to the normal before or better from the previous one. Okay, so let us see three paradigms of supply chain resilience. The first one developed by SEFI, it is engineering resilience is like a combination of resistance and recovery. So this is actually how the construction and function of the system stay the same, and everything fully controlled by managers. So the task of the managers, how to make the system return to the original normal. So this is the illustration. Okay, the engineering resilience usually called by fail-safe design. How to protect an engineered system such as aeroplane, or nuclear power plant. It is quite different with system resilience. There is a tolerance because we need to learn, that we cannot control 100% the system or the supply chain, but somehow we need to learn. So this is bonds forth to a new normal. This is also known as ecological resilience. And the last paradigm is adaptive system resilience. So what we mean by resilience here, the capability of adaptation plus reorganization or transformation. This is also known as social ecological resilience. There is freedom to change, the function as well as the construction of the system, So usually move to the new normal, but plus, So we can see here the plus things, Okay. So those three, so it is depend on the supply chain managers, which paradigm that they want to embrace or to apply, because each paradigm, they have different weaknesses as well as strengths, Okay, let us move on into what kind of advantages if we have this kind of resilience. Okay, let us see this scheme, developed by PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers. This is the normal situation, before happening, and we have this disruption, the event, strikes our supply chain, Okay, so we have two, we distinguish, we contrast, two supply chain. One is the resilient supply chain, this one, the red one, and then the yellow one, it is a less resilient supply chain. Once our supply chain strikes by disruption, and then for certainty it will fall down, but somehow they can bounce back. This is the turnaround, point. So they coming back again and recover, It is different with the less resilient supply chain, the yellow line. So they fall down steeper than the first one. And they bouncing back also, the turnaround also late, become late and very hard, this one. So if we see the shaded area here, the difference between resilience and less resilient supply chains, this is what we call it the value potential disruption planning. So what this figure tell us, we can actually invest into supply chain resilience, and our benefit, this one, the value potential is better than without investment. So this is kind of justification things that the people can take, when they want to build the resilience supply chain. Okay, so this is the schema, of they have identify and mitigate response as well as redesign, strengthen the staging, Okay, so when we have these stages, we can divide it into three. These stages: pre-disruption stage, during the disruption, and also post-disruption stage. The pre-disruption stage, usually we call them readiness. This one is responsiveness, and this one is recovery growth. And we have a lot of action and also deliverables within these activities. Let us distinguish them between these four contingency plan. So this is kind of prevention or mitigation things. So the question is, what measures can you take to mitigate the impact of supply chain disruptions before they happen? So this is mitigation. And we have monitored the system. But during the monitoring, especially using early warning system, how can you be ready to spring into action as soon as an event takes place? So this is about transparency, about visibility of your supply chains. And then when it is strikes here, during the disruption, and then this is the response stage. And once we bouncing up, we have recovery stage. So this is the common. This is common, This is what we call it risk management. This is what we call it crisis management. So it has become clear, for all of us, how we can map the supply chain resilience stages. So this is very crucial in order that we can identify the stages, and we can also recognize what kind of action we can do in every stages. Okay, once we know the stage, for example, in this one, in the mitigation and preparedness, we can see already provide several options, or investment we can use during mitigation side. Yeah, for example, how we anticipate and mitigate variability upfront. So we know this one, like leverage demand shaping. Yeah, how we can influence our customers. Yeah, or how actually we can provide promotion. Yeah, another benefit for our customers. Yeah. And also structural agility into supply chains. For example, like postponement and modularization. Yeah. So modularization help us how actually we can still run our system. Yeah. Because the modular make us more agile. Yeah. To find out the substitute of the products or raw materials. Yeah. Okay. So those you can see the explanation, yeah, for these options that we can take during the mitigation and preparedness, yeah, into this reference. Okay, and we back again to Melling, yeah, Stephen Melling, yeah, from Michigan State University, by defining, recovery as well as this one, they have the first stage, yeah, avoidance and containment. This is actually prevention and preparedness, yeah. And when it is happening here, the disruption happening or strikes, and then we need stabilization and return. Yeah, by developing or making the diagram, the scheme like this, so it is helpful for us to understand, yeah, sometimes the measures of the supply chain, yeah, resilience, yeah. For example, like here, RR, yeah. So if we look at here, response at recovery. So this is response at recovery. And we have also RT, yeah. This is response at turning point, yeah. And also RC, for example, that's response at climax, yeah, this one. So we can see here how actually we can measure supply chain resilience, yeah, in a supply chain. Okay. Let us see. This is the metrics used by supply chain managers, yeah, from earlier, how actually we know, yeah, we say detect, yeah, depend on our early warning system, yeah. So this is detection, yeah, time to awareness, yeah, and then also questioning about time to action. One, we know the strikes and how we act, yeah. And then we have also another question about time to recovery, yeah. So this is also recovery level, times to survive. And then we need also to monitor the effects of the disruption on the organization of supply chain. For example, like loss performance while recovering, yeah, LPR, revenue impact, environmental factors. Maybe our customer, they are complaining because they don't get the product that we promised to them. So this is kind of environmental factors. And also plausible worst case, yeah. And also what actually we can learn and what we need to change into the supply chain, including how we invest resilience and how we evaluate resilience and disruptions costs. Yeah. Those things, again, we need to be able to choose, yeah, which one is most important to our supply chain, yeah, because the supply chain different, yeah, different in terms of their location or position along the supply chain, or in terms of the nature of their supply chain, yeah, whether they are depend on the nature or not, yeah. Okay. More deeper, one of the most, yeah, one of the most used, yeah, KPI for measuring supply chain resilience called time to recovery. And this is the example from Levi, yeah, one of the consultant, usually it breaks down into definitions itself, yeah, as well as the indicators, the formula. And also, it is not just only one number at a particular point, but also we need to see the history, yeah, in order to know the pattern, whether it is going up or going down. Okay, and then we need also to see the trend analysis, yeah, and then also we need to find out why the trend like that. So this is diagnostic questions. Once we know the causes, and then we need to take actions. So this is actionable tips. And also not all the suggestion can be used or can be implemented. We need also to categorize them into visualization suggestions. Yeah. And then we see the risk warnings. Yeah. How actually this risk, for example, increase, yeah, cost or reduce customer satisfaction, etc. Yeah. And also what kind of tools and technologies used, yeah, and integration points and change impact. So all these indicators help us actually how we understand, yeah, how to make the this supply chain resilient metrics become meaningful. Yeah, meaningful means that we know the meaning, we know how to measure, and it will inspire us to diagnose and to take action, and also to evaluate our action, whether it is effective or not. So this is the whole story. Yeah, you can also look at the other what we call it indicators, yeah, or metrics. Yeah. Okay, so this is actually what the supply chain best practice doing. Yeah. Okay, this is one of the example. Yeah, still in the freshwater Cooper, they also develop. So this is we call them building, yeah, building of resilience supply chain. So the first strategy, according to PwC, we need to create reliable supply chain. What does it mean? That robustness, yeah, we have a robust response to predictable events. Yeah, for example, like fluctuation of our demand, also maybe delay from the shipping, delay in the port. Yeah. So this is, we call it reliable supply chains. Number two is flexible supply chains. How we can develop, yeah, best solution for predictable events. So this is robust response. So this is solution for predictable events. Yeah. And number three is agile supply chain. Yeah. So this is what we call it fast response to unpredictable events. Yeah. This is unpredictable events. So by doing these three things, so we need be able to develop these resilient supply chains. Okay. So we need also to fulfill near-term recovery as well as long-term resilience. Yeah. Near-term recovery is how to manage impact, incidents, and recover to a normal state incident efficiency. This long-term is how to anticipate and prepare for potential incident and events to mitigate their impact. Look at here that this resilient supply chain, we combine between robustness as well as with resilience. Yeah, so both of them become part of supply chain. Yeah, so it is not just only the robust response, yeah, of the supply chain. Okay, this is the generic. So I provide this generic framework in order to help all of you. Maybe some of you, if you have experience, you can also share to the other participants. So we divided, yeah, we follow the common, yeah, stages before disruption. This is what we call it risk management. During this disruption, we have crisis management. And after disruption, we have the stage of bouncing forward. Okay. And this is the trigger events. Yeah. So once we have this mitigation, yeah, can be deflected, yeah, or maybe can pass and go to the preparedness, yeah, and can be passed. And this is the actual event, yeah. Then we need to respond, yeah. So this is the stages that we have, and then the tools also already well developed, yeah. Like this one, how actually we can mapping our supply chain and identify critical points along the supply chain. Yeah, for example, like here. Yeah. And then we can also do the assessment, yeah, of the threats and risk analysis. And we can answer how severe, for how long, and how flexible are we? Yeah. So this is actually help us to develop what kind of option that we can use for mitigation. Yeah. And preparedness as well. Yeah. With system that we need to enhance the capacity and capability, yeah, like personal training, readiness, redundancy, policies, and SOP. Yeah. Once we know these critical points or critical parts, yeah, and we strengthen them. This is what we call it preparedness, including our early warning systems. And then response. And the response is this strike and do harm to our supply chain. And how we can bouncing back? This is the question of the response. Yeah. So once we have our adaptive system, then we can bouncing up better than the previous one. The robust one, we going back to the previous state, but we have also ductile, lower than the previous one. And somehow our system also can collapse. Yeah. Okay, and then recovery stage, we have short-term recovery, long-term recovery, as well as we have resumption of operations. Yeah, so this is the normal stage. Yeah, so all the approach, yeah, developed by companies or maybe by consultants or scholars, usually they use this kind of approach. Yeah. Okay, one more is about synchronization. Yeah, before we go to the example. Yeah, synchronization when different actors. Yeah, including government, they want to develop this kind of resilience. Yeah. So what actually the government do? They need to include all the network. Yeah, this is the network means not just only the core actor, yeah, the supplier, manufacturer, and also distributor, but also the surrounding, or what we call it supply chain ecosystem. Yeah. So this is network orchestrator, and also how they develop rule of the game. Yeah. Amongst them, who decide what and what kind of responsibility that they have and what kind of obligation that they have, as well as advantage they can take from the system. That what we call it network governance, setting the goals, recruiting, managing members, and maybe platform building. So we need the platform. Yeah, how to link members at scale and also links diverse types members. Yeah. And this kind of platform, yeah, that's can how to the deal with complexity problem. Yeah. So this platform help the participants to share, to join effort, as well as to share information, to join efforts, as well as how they can help one another, yeah, to deal with disruptions. So this resilience can be improved, yeah, by doing this orchestration. So this is kind of illustration how actually this kind of approach can be delivered by orchestrating both members as well as resources. Yeah. Okay, this is the scheme, just to give the illustration. And we have advancement. So the question for us, okay, now we have supply chain resilience. That's what we call it, supply chain resilience 1.0. But now we have advancement in artificial intelligence. This is what we call it supply chain resilience 2.0. Okay. Let us again look at this disaster risk management cycle that we mentioned before the disaster or before the disruption. This is what we call it risk management. And after disaster, we have crisis management. Yeah, so this is the classical approach, how we identify different stages, yeah, before and after and during, yeah. So this is okay. Artificial intelligence for supply chain resilience, according to Cohen and Tang, so both of them scholars, yeah. Okay. First of all, they can use these tools to map supply chain planning, yeah, from defining the products as well as how they can or improve the production planning, purchasing planning, etc. Yeah, including network planning. The second one is how actually AI in mapping supply chain using geospatial tools. Yeah, and they can identify, yeah, different regions and also options. Yeah, and also how AI can detect changes in demand and supply. This is also very helpful. Yeah. Not just only in number or in volume, but also in points, yeah, or location. And also how AI to design effective response, yeah, to supply chain disruption. So if we have supply chain resilience 1.0, then this is what we call is cost management era. This is the supply chain indicators, yeah, time to awareness, time to auction, and time to recover. But when we have this artificial intelligence, then our what we call it TTS, yeah, time to survive, we can shorten that, yeah, like this one, yeah. So this is how actually the advantage or the benefit when we use artificial intelligence to enhance our supply chain resilience. Let us see one of the illustration, yeah. This illustration, yeah, Deloitte company, yeah. This is the what we call it resilience 1.0, yeah. Risk event, yeah. So this is kind of risk event, yeah. So this is the sensing engine, and they have also event monitoring and network illumination, preliminary assessment, impact validation, and they have risk mitigation, and they have risk response. Yeah, this is the states of mitigation and preparedness, and this is response. So this is quite linear. Yeah, this is quite linear and sequencing. Yeah, what I mean is linear is sequencing. Yeah, okay, this is sequencing. Yeah, cross-functional mitigation and risk mitigation. Yeah. Okay, let us see when we have supply chain resilience 2.0. Yeah. So this is become clever. Yeah. So we can have a AI. Yeah. Generative AI. Yeah. The assistant. So we can find out after the machine. Yeah. After the machine, we train the machine about what kind of disaster, and we also train the machine about the traffic of our going and coming materials from one side to the other side. Yeah. So we have a risk signal. Yeah. And then we also can validate whether this risk signal is valid or not. Yeah. Using this Gen AI assistance. And we have a validated sensing agent. And even monitoring, we have this risk and impact assessment from Gen AI. Also about this one. Yeah. So this is become proactive and become clever. Yeah. So this is the difference, yeah, between the first generation and the second generation. Okay. Okay, one more example I will give you that supply chain resilience, yeah. It is like how we balance between risk exposure and resilience itself. Our supply chain, we have to be able to estimate the supply chain risk exposure, whether low and high. Yeah. High means we have vulnerability as well as impact. Yeah. And supply chain resilience. Yeah. So if we have high exposure and low supply chain resilience, this is what we call it companies with vulnerable supply chains. When the strike is there and the companies or the supply chain become collapse. Yeah. Okay. And on the other hand, we have high resilience, but we exposed to low risk. Yeah. This is what we call it cost ineffective supply chain. Too much resilience is also not good. Yeah. Too much redundancy, too much flexibility is not also good. So we need to work on this, what we call it, appropriate resilient supply chain. Yeah. In the old days, yeah, in the yesterday, we need to balance between resilience, match, and risk. But today, we have also to identify high risk and insufficient resilience. Yeah. But the future, yeah, we have to rebalance again. Yeah. Investment in flexibility and prediction restore resilience. Yeah. So this is not enough. Yeah, we have high risk, but not enough resilience. Yeah, because we don't have enough data. Yeah, or experience beforehand. But now we have data, and we have also share experience with the other members, or maybe we can learn from other companies. Yeah. So the lesson for us, we need also to develop this. Yeah, there is also no option, yeah, for us to avoid that risk is not touching our companies. Yeah. Okay, this is the classic example of supply chain management. In 1997, yeah, Aisin Seike, it is one of the supplier of Toyota. Yeah. In the morning time, yeah, 4 o'clock, February 1st, the fire happening here. Yeah. So this company, Aisin Seiki, is a sole 98% of the brake fluid proportioning valves, yeah, supplied by this company. Yeah. This valve is not expensive, yeah, only $7. Yeah, but it's very important in the assembly of any car. Without this kind of part, then the car is not complete. Yeah. Okay. Because this fire, 1st February in the morning, Asian's main factory, yeah, in Korea, shut down. Yeah. However, 2 weeks to restart the production, 6 months to complete the recovery. This is actually the first, what we call it, estimation, because they have already simulation this one. Okay. So the number of the producing, yeah, the vehicles per day, the Toyota, it is 15,500, yeah, vehicles per day. Because just in time, they just have only 2 to 3 days inventory supply. Means if the if the factory is shut down for 2 weeks, yeah, 2 weeks is 14 days, yeah, 14 days, and then for 12 days, do nothing. So you can imagine 12 days times 15,000 vehicles per day. That's the loss of the production loss they have in 12 days. Yeah. Okay. So what do they do here? Okay. So they have the blueprint. This is the brake, the illustration. Yeah. The brake proportioning valve, P valve. Yeah. The brake. This is. So they share this blueprint, yeah, to all the Toyota suppliers, yeah, and engineers from Aisin and Toyota relocated to supplier facilities, yeah, engineers from Aisin, yeah, and other manufacturers like Brother were also brought in. Existing machinery adapted to build the valves according to original specification, so they do some adaptation, yeah. So they change the specification of the machine. And if they don't have enough the machine, they can find the new machine from the spot market. Just within days, yeah. Firms means the suppliers as well as like a Brother. They are able to produce PFA and deliver to Aisin. Yeah. And then Aisin assembled and inspected valves before shipment to Toyota. So they still did quality assurance. Yeah. So look at here, it is a huge number. About 200 of Toyota suppliers were involved, yeah, to recover this one. Okay. So let us see the situation here. Okay. This is the normal. Yeah. So this is the Toyota. This one is number of vehicles produced. Yeah. This one, yeah, number 15,500, 15,500, yeah, a day. This one is Toyota. And then the red one is P valve. Yeah, this is the P valve. Yeah. Look at this. So the fire happening in 1st of February. Yeah, this is the accident happening. So of course, shut down. Yeah, you cannot produce, do nothing over here. And this is gone until the 2nd of the 3rd. Yeah. Okay, all factories stop. Okay, after happening here. And then only by 2 days, the first prototype arrived in the Aisin factory. And another 1 day, yeah, they have first batch arrive and second one. So look at here, yeah. So they can bouncing back, yeah, very quick here. So only within, look at here, yeah, when it is strike second, only less than 8 days, the Toyota can have this normal production. Yeah, even they can increase, yeah, to compensate the loss. Okay, this is the outcome. Okay, this is the estimation of them. Yeah, they said 2 weeks and 6 months. Yeah, 7.8 billion. Yeah, so this is around 65 million to Aisin and 1.3 billion to Toyota. Yeah, and then the damage can be reduced around 250 million. Yeah, and Toyota give 100 million as a token, yeah, to the provider, yeah, for the collaborators. Look at here, yeah. So they can save 250 million and they can have a token 100 million. So this is the Aisin. And that's my story. I hope you can enjoy and learn from this sharing, yeah. And I just want to emphasize that we cannot avoid from developing or building supply chain resilience, and AI already there to help us as an instrument, as a tools. And last but not least, as well, we can leverage AI, yeah, to increase supply chain resilience. This is actually will happening for the next 2 to 10 years to go. that's all from me. I hand over again to Mike. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Togar. That was excellent. Let's give a virtual round of applause to Togar. It was great. I'm sure you have a lot of questions for Professor Togar. You can think of them up and put them in the chat box or prepare them. Before we get to the Q&A, I'm going to take just a few minutes to talk about the Smart Supply Chain Management Program at Tsinghua Southeast Asia Center. So let me just share some slides. Great. So if you're not familiar with the Tsinghua Southeast Asia Center, it was founded in 2018 as a joint collaboration between Tsinghua University and United Diversity Foundation. Our campus is in Bali, the UID Bali campus. It was inaugurated in November 2022 during the G20 summit. It's 5,500 square meters. It's very sustainable, very modern design. It's a very beautiful campus on Kura Island in Bali. What we focus on in our programs, we always focus on sustainability, happiness, and innovation in all of our programs that we run. And we look at things from a systems thinking perspective, very multidisciplinary, and we believe that technology can be an enabler for change. So we have the Smart Supply Chain Management Program. It's running in October of this year, beginning on October 16th. A lot of the motivation comes from the things Professor Togar was talking about. I think supply chain management is now in the media a lot more, and it's in the media because there's been disruptions and challenges. I think when our products arrive on time and the right quality, nobody notices supply chain management. But when the products aren't there, then everyone looks to supply chain management. So some of these challenges are the COVID-19 pandemic. The war between Russia and Ukraine has brought supply chain management to the forefront. Other issues that maybe aren't getting as much attention are things like climate change and environmental sustainability. Supply chain management really has a lot of opportunities to improve the sustainability and also efficiency and competitiveness for organizations. So that led us to develop this program. So at the core, smart supply chain management is about the technology. That's the smart piece, but it's very end-to-end program. We focus on the strategy. So you have to be strategic in your use of technology, and you have to design supply chains that are efficient, resilient, and sustainable. So these are the three kind of core pieces to the program. The curriculum has over 50 hours of teaching hours on these different threads of the curriculum. So for instance, the holistic system design, this is where we have courses on supply chain resiliency, like we heard tonight from Professor Togar. We have courses on system leadership, sustainability. We have courses on supply chain design. We have courses specific on technology, although it runs throughout the entire program. So courses on AI and big data, AI literacy. We have courses on simulation and optimization of supply chains. We have courses very specific to the region. The region is made up of many islands, and we have to manage the complexity of the region as well. And then we have expert speakers coming from industry and sharing best practices and the latest technology in China and Southeast Asia. Who we're looking for this program is middle and senior managers and executives from multinational corporations, state-owned enterprises, SMEs, startups. They're all encouraged to apply. So it's very broad. So whether you're looking to focus on growth or you want to achieve cost-cutting efficiency, this program can provide you with the skills that you need from both a strategic and an operational perspective. So the program details, it starts on August 16th, or October 16th, 2024. It'll be hybrid. So the first week we'll have 3 days on site in Bali, and then we have 2 weeks of evening online courses, and then we conclude with 3 days back in Bali again. So it's part-time over a 4-week period. It's delivered entirely in English. We'll have approximately 55 participants, and all participants will be awarded a certificate from Tsinghua University. So here are some of the key dates. It will be starting on October 16th and ending on November 9th. Some of these dates are incorrect, I apologize. And here are our faculty. So we've heard from Professor Victor Chan a few weeks ago in the previous webinar that we held. And we heard from Professor Togar tonight. And we also have Professor Edward Crawley, who is from MIT, as the lead faculty for the program. Oh, here's the key dates. So we have the early bird registration until 16th of September, and the program starts on October 16th. So if you have any questions about this program or about supply chain resilience for Professor Togar, we can answer those questions now. Thank you very much. So I see some questions in the chat already. Let me read this out. So we have from Viola's son, Marteo. Thank you for the presentation. This resilient supply chain management frameworks is very interesting. However, I would like to ask, how can we apply this in the business model with short cycle fulfillment projects, which have high customization and short lead time for fulfillment characteristics? Is this resilient supply chain management apply on certain level of scale to get the most benefit of those continual integral flows of information, cash, inventory to justify the investment? Could it be applied in any level and context, or does it have some exceptions? In my understanding, we need to have balance between resilient and risk exposure and the dynamics. So Professor Togar, the question is about the different resiliency models for different business models, particularly with high customization and short lead times.
Okay, so the basic ideas, first of all, is how to combine, the what we call it risk management and crisis management, and it also can be applied, in different supply chains. So if we categorize the supply chains in terms of cost, they compete based on cost, and the other one compete based on speed. Okay, and both of them actually they have crisis, maybe the same crisis, and how they react also differently. For example, like electronics, fashion industry, and luxury industry, they are quite well known as we call it actually innovative supply chains, or like Zara, for example, Marks and Spencer, and Uniqlo. All of them actually they are fast response supply chains. Zara, they establish a strong factory, in the Spain, in order they can respond quickly to the changing in demand. So they invest, they also outsource. In the normal time, they outsource the articles, or the clothes to Morocco, yeah, and the other part maybe to east part of the to the China as well, yeah. But when the second, yeah, so when the second during the season or the selling period, they know the estimate, yeah, the estimation of the demand during the season, because the season is very short time, 3 months. They already know, yeah, and how they can react quickly, yeah, by establishing is fast response garment factory in the in Spain, yeah, so they can fulfill all the requirements, yeah. That's also happening. They have also information sharing amongst what we call it among outlets. So one outlets they don't have enough supply and they have transshipment between shops. So they can doing it, yeah. Uh, okay. And electronics as well. Yeah. Once like um, what we call it like in our previous example, yeah. That's actually if you have a new variety, you launch a new product, yeah. Usually every year, yeah, there is a annual product, yeah, like from Toyota, Honda, etc. And if something happened, for example, in Thailand, they have flooding. So how actually they can manage the supply chain, yeah. So they have also invest in redundancy, yeah. So they have invest redundancy means they have the capacity in the other region or maybe the other factory, maybe in Sunter, yeah, in Jakarta. So once flooding is happening in Thailand, and then they can open up the they call it reserve capacity in Indonesia. So it is applied, yeah. So I recap. So the whole process is the same, but the metric is quite different and the investment is quite different. If you supply chain value time, yeah, time-based competition, then you need to invest based on high response time. Yeah, if you supply chain is say cost effective, yeah, cost-based competition, then we need to invest in the big scale, how to reduce cost, etc. Yeah, that's the difference. So that's the two conclusion that we can draw from this discussion.
Thank you, Patogar. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Prof. Togar. We have another question. This is from Galu. Regarding the use of AI, how does AI-driven analytics contribute to supply chain systems' adaptive capability?
Yeah, this is from Galu here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, yeah, back to the stages of supply chain resilience, yeah, from what we call it from mitigation stage, yeah, and we have also preparation stage or preparedness stage, and we have also in the what call it responses stage, and we have also recovery stage, and each stage can be used, yeah, can be AI can be applied, yeah. For example, the common things is how actually we can say develop sources of threat or sources of disruptions, yeah. So we can rely on AI so to generate what kind of threat coming to our supply chain, and also we can give way, yeah, give what we call it prioritize, yeah, depend. For example, the difficult things is how actually we estimate the likelihood of that event of disruption, as well as the impact. AI can help us. Yeah. So that's one example for mitigation states. For preparedness states, AI can help us in early warning systems, etc. Yeah. So we can use. So the paper developed by consultant company already a lot of example already we can learn. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Is there any other questions for Professor Togar?
Maybe we can invite Dr. Professor Stephen, yeah? Is there, yeah, from UK? Maybe give us comparison, maybe AI, because Professor Stephen is expert in the analytics.
Yeah, Professor Stephen Ongo. I think he's I don't think he's in the Zoom anymore.
Yeah, all right.
Maybe
Okay.
maybe from Victor Chen. Do you have some words?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think that the use of AI is definitely the trends in supply chain management and also resilience. From my experience, I think the technique of AI definitely can help us better estimate the likelihood or the probability of these disruptive events. For example, automatically collecting data and like analyzing, these sentiments. And you know what? The sentiment information is quite important, in particular in nowadays social networks. If things happens, the message can spread, and it could, make the situations much better. So if with AI, we can better understand how this behavior will spread and how we can react it to that earlier. So I think that's one of the benefit of AI. And of course, on the other hand, using AI techniques, we can also better coordinate the supplies and then the resources to react to these accidents. For example, like scheduling the resources, optimizing the use, the resources, and so forth. Yeah, so these are the things that I can add in for now.
Great. Thank you, Victor. Any other questions from the chat room? Chat? Or any final thoughts from either of you? All right. Well,
Yeah.
it's almost 9:30, so I think we can close our session if there's no other question. Thank you everyone for joining, and thank you again, Professor Togar Simatupang, for your time this night. Tonight, it was really great sharing. Thank you very much.